These look similar, but they read differently because this one is built from the form and this one is built from the edge. The difference is subtle, but it completely changes how the form reads. So here's the deal. The airbrush will do exactly what you tell your airbrush to do. The question is, what is leading your decisions? Because sometimes we think we're building form, but in reality, our stroke behavior reveals that we're actually creating outlines. And if the outline leads, the form must follow. If you allow the light and the shadow to lead, then the edges will naturally fall into place. And this doesn't just apply to portraits either. I'm using a nose as an example in this video, but this applies to anything you might paint. So let me show you exactly what changed. Here's the thing. A lot of people approach using the airbrush similar to this. Notice how I'm using longer, more defined strokes, meaning I'm pretty close to the surface. I'm creating a pretty harsh line almost immediately. Now I want to be clear, I'm not saying that lines are wrong. They are appropriate sometimes. So notice what's happening here. I'm actually defining the features with these somewhat harsh lines from the very beginning. So what's happening as a byproduct of that is I'm forced to build the form, the shape, build the depth based off of these harsh lines. I'm still shading appropriately to build the form, meaning I'm working from a distance. But my roadmap from the very beginning is pretty harsh. Which means I have to build the form off of those initial harsh lines. So you might have noticed even as I was shading the nose, I was working in longer strokes, kind of working faster. And although the proportions are correct and the values are technically correct, these defined edges that are really defining the main features that I put into the painting very early on were really leading my decisions. So what happens is the structure looks like it was initially drawn onto the surface instead of built into it. It feels safe, it feels controllable, but that's not how depth is actually built. So let's paint the same thing with a slightly different approach. So for this next version, I'm going to slow down a little bit and I'm going to work further away from the surface. And you'll notice that I'm using shorter, shallower strokes. So I'm still, in essence, creating a line, but it's a very soft, gradated line as opposed to that harsh, outlined edge that we would get if we were closer to the surface. And by working in these shorter, shallower strokes, I can build that value up gradually. And a little bit more controlled. And what you'll notice is the edge will begin to appear all by itself. This is, I call it sketching with the airbrush. Or even sculpting with the airbrush. So it allows a little bit more control because we've slowed down and we're building things gradually. I can still work in longer strokes when necessary, I can't talk. But I'm not constantly working in those longer strokes. Might have some tip dry. And something else that you'll find when you're using this approach is you'll actually start to begin to build some little hints of texture into your work. And at this stage, we're obviously not trying to develop detail or texture. It's just it's a byproduct of working this way. Now when you do want a more harsh defined edge, there's nothing wrong with getting closer. For example, the top of the nostrils here, but again, I'm not creating this as one continuous long stroke. I'm still sculpting the outline by taking shorter defined strokes. Which will help to gradate that deep shadow in the nostril down. Because there are shadows within shadows. So I'm making a conscious decision to work slowly and deliberately in order to build that level of detail. When it comes to the outside edge of the nostril, rather than drawing or painting a defined edge like we did before, I'm going to sculpt that slowly. Just get all the tip dry off of my brush with these shorter strokes. So again, that's still a pretty dark defined edge that it's creating, but it's not a harsh line. It's still gradated. And then I can work off of that to create the shadow. And build a shadow underneath the nose, fading it up into this little area. It's going to be a little bit darker here. Same thing on this side of the nose. The very edge is really in highlight. It doesn't need a harshly defined edge there. So I want to come in very lightly, begin to sculpt this. And you could even put just a hint of a darker shadow up in here. It's going to be a little bit difficult to do that without a shield, a mask, something to keep that edge of the nose clean, so I can actually stick my finger up here. And just create a hint of a shadow in one little small defined spot, and then we can carry that down just a little bit. And then let the negative space kind of define the other edge of that nostril. You see how much of a difference that just made. Just sticking my finger on the canvas and spraying a very light amount of paint around it, how it really defines that edge, but I didn't have to draw it in or paint it in as a harsh line with the airbrush. Work on the shadows on the bottom side of the nose. Again, still working relatively loose. Short, shallow strokes. Just to build the depth a little bit. You don't want to go too far here. Gonna bridge that shadow. And then for this side, Same thing, we can start building the shadow up here on this side, gradually bringing it down this side of the nose. A little bit of a crease there. You can get a little bit closer to give that just a little bit more of a defined line, but it doesn't have to be really defined. Building in some of the shadow. Might work on the nostril on this side just a little bit more, bring it up a hair. Looks a little bit low. Reinforce that shadow underneath. Maybe just a hint of a darker shade down here. I think we'll call that one complete for this lesson. So this was the same airbrush, the same paint, and the same subject. And the differences are actually very subtle, but they are different. And the difference wasn't control, it was priority. One was led by the edge, which was defined early on during the painting process. The other was actually led by the form itself. Outlines will always show where something ends, but light and shadow are what shows what that thing is. If the outline leads, then the form must follow it. If light and shadow lead, then the edges will naturally fall into place. And again, this applies to anything you might paint because the airbrush cannot make decisions for you. It's responding to your input, your intention. Things like your stroke length, your distance, your sequencing, all of those reveal what your true priorities are. And sometimes that shift isn't mechanical, it's conceptual. So I would encourage you to try this exercise yourself. Paint something twice, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be a very simple object, but paint something twice. Once from the edge and once from the form, and then compare your results, because I think you'll likely learn more from that single lesson than you will by mastering any single technique. And if you're interested in more lessons like this that are focused more on thinking instead of just technique, that's what we do here. I'm Trevor with Wicked Art Studio. I will see you next time.